Hello, welcome to Panting with the Geeks. You join us for another painting sesh for Massive Darkness. This time I'm doing Whisper, which is the assassin who I claimed. I'm going to first start off with doing a bad and black on her cloak and on her tights as well. The tights I'm possibly going to gloss so they shimmer and sheen as tights would do, and leave a cloak like a matte colour. So I'll start with covering a cloak in bad and black, and I'll be back with you later. Okay, so I've covered Whisper in a bad and black, as you can see, all the way around, including her boots and tights. So what I'm going to do next is wash the cloak in Nun Oil, and then do the boots in Nun Oil gloss. So I'm going to take her away and do that, and she'll be back later. Okay, so there's Whisper covered in the bad and black, done all the way down the back and inside the cloak. I've also done her boots. So what I'm going to do next is cover the cloak in Nun Oil, and then I'm going to cover the boots and tights in Nun Oil gloss to give them that bit of glossiness to stand out a bit. So I'll go away and do that. I'll bring her back when I've finished. So here's Whisper. So I've done the cloak in Nun Oil, as you can see, it's just drying, and the boots in Nun Oil gloss, which gives them that sheen. So what I'm going to do on the back of the cloak, I'm going to cover it in Eshin Grey. I'm just going to dry brush that on, give it a bit more of a smoky, shadowy feel. But on the inside, I'm going to leave that black because I'm going to paint that up in a different colour later on, so it's like a bit of an insert in the cloak. So I'll be back when I've done the Eshin Grey. So here we have Whisper, and I've just lightly dry brushed the Eshin Grey on, so it's a bit more smoky now, a cloak. It's looking a lot more smoky and shadowy. So what I'm going to do next is on the back, on this bit here, and the edge of her hood, and some of the edge of the cloak at the back, I'm just going to lightly dry brush in Dawnstone just to bring out the edge highlight a little bit. So I'll be back when I've done that. So here's Whisper. I've gone over the edges of the cloak in Dawnstone, so just pick out the highlights of the top bit of the cloak and some of the bottom, and the same with the hood, just to give it a bit of definition. So what I'm going to do next is the inside of the cloak. I'm going to do a purple colour, so I'm going to start off with Nagrath Night and work up from that. And I'm also going to do a hair in that colour because it just looks awesome. So I'll be back when I've done that. So I've covered the inside of the cloak for Whisper in Nagrath Night. So what I'm going to do now is highlight it with Drushy Violet. Do the inside and ink it, and then work it up from that. I'll be back when I've done that. Okay, so I've done inside the cloak with the ink. What we're going to do now is go over that with Zeros Purple and just bring out the purple a bit more. So, and also the hair, mustn't forget the hair. Thanks. So here's Whisper again. We've done the inside of the cloak now. So what I'm going to do next is use Zeros Purple again and Genestealer Purple and do a mix of 50-50 and just edge highlight the cloak a little bit in some of the tears. But for the hair, I'm just going to be using Genestealer Purple, just so, because the hair's quite bright. So I'll be back when I've done that. So Whisper's all done. I've done the highlighting just on the edge of the cloak, and I've also done her hair. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to start on the pants and the scarf that's covering her face. I'm going to do that in Mechanicus Standard Grey. The main part of the bodice I'm going to do in brown, but I'll get the sides done first of all, and I'll be back when I've done that. Okay, so I've done Whisper's pants and her handkerchief around her face in Mechanica Standard Grey. What I'm going to do next is put a wash over that of Nun oil, and once that's dried I'm also going to do a bodice, and the colour on the bodice I'm going to use Dryad Bark. I'm keeping it quite dark tones, so I'll be back when I've done all that. Okay, so I've done the inside of her bodice now, and highlighted it in Mechanica Standard Grey, and put a wash of Nun oil on it, as well as doing the brown of her bodice. What I'm going to do next is just ever so slightly highlight that grey up with Administratum Grey. Just give it some highlights to define the folds. What I'm also going to do is use Lead Belcher on the knives and on the buckle of her belt. So I'll be back when I've done that. Okay, so I've highlighted Whisper very carefully on the handkerchief on her face and also her pants. I've also done the brown on the belt using the same brown from the bodice. I've done the swords, the little daggers that she's got in Lead Belcher, same as the daggers. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shade the daggers in Nun oil to prepare for the next bit of metal to go on. So I'll be back when I've done that. So I've highlighted the swords in Nun oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a quick lightening up of Ironbreaker. So I'll be back when I've done that. Okay, so I've done the Ironbreaker on her daggers and the ones that she's got attached to her belt. I'm just now going to lightly go over that with Runefang Steel, pick up some of the highlights. I'll be back when I've done that. Okay, so I've done the Runefang Steel on the blades to highlight them up a bit. So next I'm going to move on to the flesh and start off with Bugman's Glow on her face and hands. So I'll be back when I've done that. Okay, so I've done the flesh tone with Whisper now. So what I'm going to do is put Reichland flesh shade over that, and then finish that off once that's dry with some Cadian flesh tone. I might leave it like that because she is quite dark skinned actually on the artwork, so I'm going to leave it at Cadian. So I'll come back when I've done that. Right, and here is Whisper. So I've left the skin quite dark, and obviously again I've painted an eye on there as well, which I've used Pallid Witch Flesh and a Baden Black. I've only done one eye because her other eye's been obscured by her hair, which seems to be coming across the other eye, so that's the only reason I've done one eye on that. So what I'm going to do next will be the base. So I will cover the base with Astro Granite, and then go over that with a bit of Nun oil, and then once all that's dry I'll highlight it up with a bit of Pallid Witch Flesh, and then that'll be her done and finished. So I'll be back when I've done all that. Okay, so here's Whisper all finished. So what I did with the base was Astro Granite, then washed that in Nun oil, and then highlighted that with Pallid Witch Flesh. And around the base I've done Dryad Bark. So there we go, there's the end product. So she's ready to go sneaking along the halls of dungeons and slaying a lot of monsters from the shadows. So I hope you found this video useful. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me, and hope to see you soon. You can find us on Patreon, we're also on Facebook, and my next video up will be the painting of Sybil. So hope to see you soon. Bye for now.